We're about to watch. We're about to watch NBA 2K16 live. See if it's better. No, not 2K16. 2K16 versus NBA Live. Wow, okay. Yo, this is the what's it called?
Welcome to Versus, unbiased opinion on both NBA Live and NBA 2K16. After a massive success on the last year's Versus video, we're here to do it again. I see a lot of people trying to copy my format, my style, and my creativity, so let's put those other guys to rest. With that being said, I'll be showcasing NBA Live 15 and 16 gameplay to represent Live, and I'll be showcasing NBA 2K15 and 16 to represent NBA 2K. I'll be looking both at positives and negatives of each said game, and ultimately I'll leave it up to you, the viewer, to decide which game you prefer. So without further ado, let's get started with my breakdown and opinions on NBA Live 16. As someone who played both Live 14 and Live 15, NBA Live 16 is at least 10 times better than what the prior game was. So let's jump into the nitty-gritty of NBA Live 16, starting with the animations. We'll take a look at the positive and then the negative animations in NBA Live 16, but unfortunately there isn't that many positives. The one animation that really stood out to me was the dribbling appearance of the basketball. When a player dribbles the basketball, it looks real, it looks authentic. A lot better than compared to a 2K game. Hopefully they get it better, because if not, there's going to be a lot of uncaught travels like this one. Anderson Varejao has Jesus hands and then he considers the travel? Oh. And now, unfortunately, on to the many negative animations in NBA Live 16. We'll start off with the passing. Ooh, that ugly pass animation, though? Seems like you're just throwing a brick that goes straight to the other player you're throwing it to. There's really no bounce passing animations. The oops are terrible, along with the dunks and layups. I mean, they did improve the dunks and layups from past games, but comparing it to 2K, it just does not meet up to standard. Now, the biggest flawed animation, in my opinion, is the Euro step cheese in NBA Live 15. Euro stepping was a problem, and although it may not seem as a problem from what I've played at NBA Live 16, it's still there. You could easily drive to the basket by Euro stepping, and that's basically an automatic bucket depending on what overall your player is. The presentation. The presentation in NBA Live 16 is flawless, just like it always is. The players coming out the tunnel, the pre-game workouts, the players shooting around. That feels nice. But unfortunately, the one flaw with the presentation is the commentary. Although the commentary is improved a lot from prior years, it still feels too stiff. If only the commentary wasn't so scripted and if they let Jeff Van Gundy be Jeff Van Gundy and say things like, I would carry a razor blade with me and cut myself, just so I could get an extra timeout. The graphics. Both NBA Live and NBA 2K have really stepped up the graphics, and they're both trying to make the most realistic, authentic looking basketball game by bringing in the rookies, bringing in the players to have a full body scan or a face scan. A lot of the NBA Live faces look very real. And when you're playing the game, you don't actually notice how skinny the players' legs are or how slim the bodies are as well. That's really nitpicking at trailers and what people see, because that has no effect on the actual gameplay and how fun the game is. I really do like the style and direction NBA Live is going with the graphics, and hopefully in future games they can step it up even more than they are right now, because like it is, it still needs a few improvements. The gameplay. The gameplay is one of the worst features about NBA Live 16, but it's also one of the most important features in any game, which makes it completely unbearable at times to play this game. Although it's 10 times better than NBA Live 15 was, the gameplay still feels stiff. We talked about animations earlier, and I just feel like the gameplay just doesn't have enough animations compared to 2K. The guarding mechanic
I
is
just
very
switched to 16.
game modes. The game modes consist of it's really a great game mode raws by latency. There was a lot of frame drops. Really, emphasize the feet placement in this game. And although there will be sliding still on the court, and the court will be slippery at times, it's a lot better than what it was in 2K15. The presentation. 2K decides to one-up themselves from last year with Shaq and Ernie by adding Kenny the Jet Smith. Also replacing Steve Kerr with Greg Anthony, who somehow managed to still have a job after the alleged prostitution. 2K is on the right track with the presentation, and although in my opinion it doesn't look as good as NBA Live's presentation, it's still a lot more enjoyable to listen to. What would really make the presentation perfect if they added Charles Barkley and added the TNT logo to really get the presentation up there, but I know due to the contracts and what have you, that's going to be hard to do. The graphics. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, both NBA 2K and NBA Live have different stylized graphics. Live seems to be going for the realistic approach, and don't get me wrong, NBA...
Well, that's it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Make sure y'all subscribe me. Peace, dog. Hope y'all enjoyed this video.